What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be interviewing my client Chase, who went from zero to over $20,000 a month in just a matter of a few months with a brand new online coaching business I helped him build from scratch just a few months ago. Now, I no longer work with total beginners. This was back when I was still serving beginners. Now I only work with people who are doing at least 5 to 50K a month, and you've got a good foundation. You're great at what you coach on. You've made good content already. You know how to sell, but you just need more people to sell to. So if that sounds like you, book a call down below. Bring your credit card. And if you want to learn more about what I do and kind of the program, I have a full video where I break down the entire program and the whole process and the funnel, everything that we'll be building out. It's the main video on my channel. Go check it out right now. But if you're actually serious about scaling, book a call down below. Aside from that, let's get straight into the interview. All right, Chase, welcome to the channel, brother. It's a pleasure to have you on here. And for those watching today, I'm gonna be interviewing Chase about all the success so far in the program. We've been working together for a few months now. Don't really know exactly how long, but we kind of built his offer from scratch a few months ago. And then he just wrapped up last month doing 20K cash. And so I just want to kind of get him on here, interview him, and kind of see what kind of like the main takeaways were, the biggest lessons you've learned along the way and stuff like that. So that's enough for me. Chase, why don't you introduce yourself, man, and kind of just give us a bit of a rundown, kind of who you are, what you're doing, and how it's been going so far.
Yeah, Jeremy. So first of all, I want to thank you, for everything that, you've done for me. Like, it's been a dream coming into this program. It was literally exactly what I needed to take my, my business goals to that next level. Right. And yeah, so a little bit about myself, I was an in-person tennis coach and I still am, but I wanted to transition to also having that online business going, right? So starting a few months ago, I kind of started from the ground up, didn't have any clue of, how to, formulate an offer, how to start the marketing side of things, and really like A to Z how to do it. And, that's kind of why I was grateful enough and lucky as hell to find Jeremy, who can kind of like piece that together from his program. And, like he said, started literally from scratch, a few months ago. And, last month, over 20K. Yeah, so it was just been a blessing to be in this program so far. And yeah, a little bit about me. So I've been coaching, for a while. I actually had my own, in-person coaching business since I was 10, 11 years old. And just started doing that, from coaching kids for free and basically saying first lesson is free. And if you want to keep going, the little kids 5, 6 years old, then I'll coach you for, like $20 an hour, something super low like that. Right. And then just built it up. The parents wanted to take lessons and kind of built it up from there, in person in Arlington, Virginia. And, after, being, 10 until 16, being, an injured tennis player, not, really being able to, train as much as I wanted. I still wanted to be around the game. And, I was very entrepreneurial, shoveling snow, starting like sneakers, selling businesses, stuff like that, kind of gives some context and kind of like who I am. And, I just like started hustling and like, made that push to D1, had to kind of solve problems on my own that, I wasn't really working in the traditional tennis model of academies, had my family invest, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the traditional way. And, I kind of had to piece it together on my own to really, improve my tennis rating to get to that goal that college coaches wanted it to be. And, I was lucky enough to kind of figure that out on my own and kind of piece that together. And, I achieved my goal of playing Division I tennis. And then after that, was coaching at IMG Academy, that Nick Bollettieri founded, and was lucky to be mentored by him there. And then after that, I was still in college, dropped out of college, about a year and a half ago to, be mentored by Rick Macy, the greatest technical coach of all time. He mentored and developed Serena Williams, Venus Williams, Andy Roddick, etc. Just to name a few, and really kind of developed their entire game, to the level they're at now. And so I've been super grateful to, be currently mentored by him as well in the tennis world. And now I'm one of the directors at his academy as well. So that's kind of a little bit of background of me. And, I just wanted to, start this online business to really kind of achieve my business goals. And, it's incredible to have been able to do that kind of so fast and kind of even now think about how can I take it to the next level now. So yeah, man, I hope that kind of answers my intro.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's such an incredible story too. And I know like a piece of advice I heard a long time ago was like, we're best equipped to serve the person we used to be. And that's exactly what you're doing.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
You're serving the person that you used to be, helping them achieve the goals that you had and that you were able to accomplish too. So that's really cool to see. And like I said, like before we started recording this, I don't have anything scripted, nothing planned here. I just want to have like a good natural conversation, and I want you to be as raw, genuine, authentic, honest, open, upfront, transparent as humanly possible to kind of give everybody else on the other side like a bit of like a good live look into kind of what it's like on the other side. So
Totally.
yeah, man, you've gone from 0 to 20K a month. What's next?
Shit, man. What's next is beyond in the however high I can. I mean, I have big goals, man. Like, I want to
Yeah.
scale to, 50, 100K a month. I mean, I don't see why not, with all the like the lessons I've learned so far and like how far everything's come so far. And honestly, in a pretty quick order too, surprisingly, I just want to like, I still have that mindset of like, I don't want to sacrifice like for the short term. I want to like sacrifice in the short term so that I can build my foundations, as wide as possible for all my, goals, business and in life, long term. Right. So like, it's just like, I want to make sure that the delivery is just on point. Everybody's getting incredible results, delivering it in the most efficient way possible. And yeah, I would say the next steps are just like scaling up delivery to making sure that delivery is like systematized and, just, potentially building out that team, going forward, as I scale a little bit further. And yeah, just like taking it to that next level, but with what I've done so far, I don't see why I can't do that. I'm just so pumped for this next year.
Yeah, man. Me too. Me too. It's gonna be so cool to see like where we're at, like because we've only been working together for like a few months. I
Literally.
don't. We're not too sure exactly how long. I'll probably check, but we'll do that another time. But like even just think about like the end of this year, like 6 months from now, where you'll be, and given the progress that you've already made so quickly in just a handful of months, like and then yeah, think about like a few years from now too. It's nuts. Like, it's actually crazy to think about. And it's really exciting too, especially when you actually have like a lot of clarity on what the next steps are and like kind of where you want to get to and then how to actually get there too. And then it
No
just
doubt.
kind of becomes like a bit of a science, like a formula, right? So it's
Literally.
super cool. But anyways, that's enough of me rambling, man. I want to get deep here, and I want to kind of dig in to your journey and your process. Like, I'm curious to know like what's kind of been, and this might be a very broad question, but what's kind of been like the one big thing that kind of like changed everything? Like, was there one moment? Was there one kind of like insight? Was there one kind of like ad you ran or like something like that that just kind of like clicked and then like led to such kind of explosive growth so quickly?
That's a really good question, man. And, I'm not so sure that there's one thing, but I mean, I will say, I mean, the first ad that I ran and, I mean, I remember like I was overthinking it so much of like, like what I need to do. And it's just like, it's just a bunch of bullshit about like, just take action, bro. Like, well, you know what you got to do? Don't try to perfect it. Just do it and just maneuver after and just fix it if you need to, whatever. But it just so happens that, the first ad that, we worked together on the copy, we worked together on, that it was actually pretty simple. I think it was like one quick Zoom call that we did and just went out, filmed it quick, no budget filming, just popping it with the iPhone. Just drafted like maybe 2 or 3 times the actual, like what I want to write in it and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I think that ad now has like 1.4 million views. So yeah, I think it's been working pretty well. And, I've been gaining a ton of followers, like consistently. It's like on demand. It's just cranking. So it's like, it's so dope to see, man. But I would say like, man, I think just like following the steps and, like I was already, I felt pretty confident in terms of like my content beforehand, but a game changer for me was like having like specific targeted content to kind of like warming up leads with the content. That was kind of foreign to me. I didn't understand that, it was just like, and I noticed it now. It's like all these people are just like, they're just pumping out random ass shit, and it's like, bro, you got to have a purpose to, deliver value in the best way possible for, your potential clients and for your ideal audience. Right. So I would say like kind of having that system of like how to warm up the leads before having even conversations with them, like me jumping on calls with people and they're like, oh, you've already fixed my forehand and I've never even talked to you. It's like, okay, shoot, well, you're probably going to want to join my program. Well, we can actually work one-on-one. But I would say like the ad component where I just had to literally launch one ad. I haven't even launched, my second ad yet. Literally that first ad has been working tremendous. So it's like, if it's working, why change, right? But yeah, so I would say like the ad component and kind of warming up those leads through that like specific content. I think that those were like two like game changers for me.
Love that, man. Yeah, it's funny how much of an impact like what you say in the ad and like the copy, the messaging in the ad has on like your sales in general. Cause it's like, if you have like shitty leads coming through the top of the funnel, you're going to get shitty leads on calls and stuff like that. So like the messaging is super important there, but then also the middle of funnel, warming up and pre-selling and nurturing all those leads in your content, that makes your sales process a million times easier too. So it's cool to kind of see like how every component of your business is so like just holistically kind of like, I don't know what the word is, but
Mesh together.
yeah, mesh together. Like they all impact one another. And yeah, that's really cool to see, man. And that's awesome to hear too. That's really good feedback for me. So I appreciate that. But yeah, man, when it comes to kind of like the next steps from here, do you feel like you have clarity on kind of what to do to blow past like 50K a month and 100K a month and stuff like that? Are there any, like, aside from, I know you kind of touched on a little bit like scalable delivery, is there anything else that you feel like is kind of in the way, or do you feel like the path is clear?
No, I feel like the path is clear. I feel it's like, I just have to stay consistent. I know like what the next steps are. Like, I know I definitely have to, pump out some more long form, right? Kind of dial that in. I mean, I've barely even done that and I've still been getting insane results, which is absurd, right? I've literally done like 2 long form videos, which is crazy. I probably slacking on that, right? So it's like, if I actually do that, I should be getting like way more results as well. So I think like, it's just like dialing in the delivery, and just like being more strategic with, I mean, I think it's just laid out clear. I honestly, like, I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. And, I mean, with the network of people, it's like any little question I have, it's just like, I can just touch base with someone quick, boom. And I'm on the right path. So it's not like, yeah, I feel like it's honestly pretty clear for me.
That's awesome. Okay. I got 2 questions. One, one is about the ads, and then the other is about the community. So with the ads, do you happen to know what your return on ad spend is right now? Like for every $1 you put in, how much are you pumping out?
Yeah, it's 11x right now, 11x ROAS.
Fucking hell. That's awesome, man. That's so cool. It's funny. It's funny you say that. I had a coaching call like 2 hours ago with another client, and his is also 11. And then another one of my clients who just launched ads like less than a week ago made his first sale today, putting his ROAS at 11x too. That's crazy.
That's wild. I guess 11 is the Summit acquisition standard now.
Yeah. Oh, mine's at 12 for the month so far.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. Well, I got my work cut out for next month.
I had to pull that up right now just to check. I think earlier today it was at 11 actually, and then a payment came through. But that's funny. Okay, and then let's talk about the community for a minute, because I know it's something that you've been utilizing a lot, and just kind of like leaning on other people in the community and stuff like that. Yeah, just kind of talk a little bit about like how that's kind of had an impact, how you've been utilizing the community too, because that's something that's like not really talked about that much. And I know I don't really talk about it too much either, but I know like so many guys are just seeing like so much like exponential growth because of like everybody else in the community too.
Sure. Yeah. And look, I'll go into the details about like, I've gotten value from like this person, etc. And it's been tremendous. I think it's also one of those things where it's like, look, if you surround yourself with scrubs, you're going to be a scrub. If you surround yourself with the big dogs, eventually you're going to rise to that level. You're either going to fail and go away, or you're going to rise to that level. Right. And, I've always wanted to, surround myself with people who are better than me and, have already achieved the stuff that I want to do. So it's like, when I'm in an environment like that, I'm the type of person where it's like, I'm going to get up there no matter what. I'm competitive, So it's like, I want to like see myself get to that level. And honestly, I want to do better than them. So I don't think that's like a wrong thing to believe and think. I think you got to also have that kind of a little bit of delusional confidence with really anything you do if you want to be at that highest level. But I would say like community wise, it's like, man, like in so many different industries, you can kind of take, I would say one huge value I've gotten is like, you just look at everybody else in their industry and then you can kind of see, okay, well, these industries are kind of similar to mine. So how would I do this if their business was actually mine? And you can kind of put together, kind of the pieces of the puzzle for your own context based on kind of what someone's already done, tried, tested, and got results from. So I think that's something that it's like, it's so huge, is like being able to touch base with people who they've been there, they've done that, maybe in a little bit different capacity, but I mean, that's just for me because mine is a very niche offer, but like for other people, it's like, man, if you have a fitness offer, it's like, there's a million fitness coaches that you can just bounce off who've already tried, tested all this stuff, and bang, they're there. So it's like, it's crazy to actually like be able to network with these type of people and, just get immense value from. But yeah, man, did I answer that enough?
Yeah. I think you hit the nail right on the head. And I like the aspect of like the competition.
Totally.
That's kind of why I introduced like that leaderboard concept too, with like the weekly check-ins, updating that. So then like you can see kind of how well you're doing against everybody else, which is kind of cool. But yeah, that's awesome, man. Oh, I had another question, but it slipped my mind right now. I'll probably come back to it. Oh, yeah. So over the last few months, I'm curious, what's been like the biggest obstacle or the biggest bottleneck that was kind of like the hardest thing to solve or something like that? Just to kind of like talk about like what were the initial struggles and and whatnot, and then how did you actually solve those? I think that would be really cool for people to kind of hear that insight.
Yeah. So, okay, now that you mentioned that, like there is something that I think would be like that big thing that kind of flipped the switch for me.
Okay.
And I think it was like, and I'll be completely brutally honest here because, I have nothing to hide, right? And like when I first like started, like, I don't know if I think it was subconsciously, like I didn't want to like do all these calls and stuff with like, new people and stuff like that. So I literally had immediately like a closer, like start taking calls from me and stuff. And then I was just like, I mean, I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but it's like, this guy doesn't know shit about my offer. He doesn't know anything about tennis. Like, what do I think is actually going to happen, But I was just like kind of putting my head in the sand and trying to do that. But it was just like, I was like, well, and I was just like thinking long-term, like, I don't want any regrets. So I was just like, let me just do it. Just do the work. Stop, delaying it. Just do it, bro. And after like the first one, I was like, oh, I actually like this. I feel like I'm good at it. And with this, all the sales training and stuff like that, all the knowledge about kind of how to maneuver on these situations. It's like now I kind of grown. I would love it. Like I could probably be a closer now. Like I actually like it a lot. So yeah, I think like that was something that really was, I don't even know what your question was, but like that was something that was, what was your question?
It's kind of like one of the biggest problems, obstacles, challenges you're facing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say like obstacles, I think just initially it was, figuring out kind of how to like actually formulate the offer. I think that was kind of a big thing for me that I was like, once I can kind of dial that in, I felt like everything was going to be very clear. I just needed that ultimate clarity on exactly how to bottle together my exact offer and my program in the kind of the best way that would resonate with my ideal clients and avatar. So I think that was like kind of the initial kind of biggest thing. And trying to think like if there was anything else that was like glaring in terms of like an obstacle that was like very difficult for me. But I think like, to be honest, I think like most of the stuff was pretty straightforward. It was just a matter of me just like doing it, just taking calls, watching it back, making moves, like adjusting certain things. And yeah, I think like, but those were kind of the main obstacles.
Yeah. I think for you is like a pretty straightforward case of just, kind of actually packaging up the offer and figuring out how the hell you're going to deliver it. and then from there, just getting people on calls, like just getting leads coming to you and then actually getting them onto calls and then signing them up. Right. Like very, very simple, very straightforward. So even though it is a super niche offer, like online tennis coaching, I've never worked with an online tennis coach before, I'll tell you that, but I knew that like the principles are very universal and that they will apply. And I mean, look where we're at now. So that's That's awesome. I'm curious, man, what's been the most valuable thing from the program, or like top 3 or something like that?
Yeah, so that's there's a lot of stuff. I would say just like the simplicity of it in terms of like, I know you have a saying of like simple scales, fancy fails. Like that's totally true, like, and look, this is the reality. Most people who would be in a position to like join your program, they're probably already, super busy. They're doing a bunch of shit. Like, do you really want to do like, 40 hours of just watching videos and all this stuff? I want to know what is the action that I have to take to achieve my goals. I want to take action. So what is the action that I have to take? If there's knowledge I need, okay, let me get a short video to learn it, or I'll hop on a call with you and we talk about it. Boom. Okay, I get the knowledge. Now, what action can I take? And then I feel like it's a lot about the action steps. And that's something that I actually put into my program is like, I feel like I make my delivery similar to that in terms of like, I'm giving these guys complete action plans, making sure that all the deliverables are like very clear and like, there's basically, you have to be a dumbass to fail, basically, so like I think that's kind of my favorite part is like the simplicity of like how you deliver and like the clarity of what the next steps are and like when you need to take those next steps. And kind of like I remember like you said, okay, because of your situation, you should just focus on this, and don't worry about this for right now. Jump back into this at this point. And I think like kind of having that mentality is like huge. And I think that was like a tremendous value for me because at the time I was super like still doing a lot of stuff in person and etc. And now I'm not like reliant on it. But like, I think that was like a huge component for me.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm glad you said that too, because that's also something I don't really talk about too much is like how it's kind of like an anti-course program. Cause like, especially at like the stage where people come in that I work with now, it's like, you don't need another course. You just need to actually do the right things. And, so I'm glad that kind of like the way I've structured and built it is actually having that impact and that effect. So that's awesome, man. Yeah. I'm curious, what would be like your number one piece of advice to somebody who is an online coach and maybe they're like kind of stuck, they're feeling a little lost, they're spinning their tires, maybe they're plateauing, kind of just stuck at the same spot for a while, or kind of like where you were just a few months ago? What would be like your number one piece of advice to somebody in that situation?
Yeah. So I think it would be this. It's like, look, you have a decision to make. It's like, I have no doubt that you can figure it out. If you want to spend 10, 20 years learning and piecing together all this jumble, I have no doubt that you can figure it out. Right. But you're going to pay one way or another, either with your time or with your money. I would personally rather invest in speeding up that process and expediting the learning curve so that I can use all the knowledge that somebody's already spent all this time, all this energy, these resources gathering, and I can apply it immediately and kind of see the fruits of that. And then I can just move from there, right? That's the decision I would rather make, right? So it's like, you have a decision to make. Do you want to take action now and completely remove the guessing component out of your business? Or do you want to, maybe you'll still achieve your goals, but you're going to be guessing essentially, right? And I tell people this in my program too. It's like, if you want to keep guessing, you can continue on your path and maybe you'll succeed. But for the people who don't want to maybe succeed, they want it for sure, then I think it's definitely worth it to invest in a program that will expedite that learning curve and really fast track your process of getting there and kind of compressing that. So yeah, I think that would be my advice.
I love that. And you're one to walk the walk as well. Cause I remember when we had our first call, like our sales call, like you said, all right, man, let's do it. Paid in full and just went all in. And yeah, I know like that, even just that mentality, that mindset to be like, because we attract who we are, we attract what we are. And I've always found that like, if I'm asking for discounts, if I'm like saying, oh no, I can do this myself, I can figure it out on my own, like I just stay stuck. And like, I just hired a coach last week, like for over 5 figures, and I paid in full. And like, it was more than my credit card limit. And I had to like transfer more money on top of it to increase the limit temporarily. And like, it hurt. It was painful. And I think a lot of people go through this as well, like kind of the same thing. And maybe you can relate too, but like that's the most I've ever invested on like one specific thing, like on myself or my business. So like, it was very scary. And like my old identity was just cringing, man. Like it hurt, but that's exactly why I knew I
Totally.
needed to do it. It's like growing pains, like when we're growing up, like to actually like grow and get taller, like it hurts, but that's how you're growing. Did you experience that, or like, because it seemed like you were kind of just like ready to rock and roll. Like, didn't really take too much convincing. You're just like, okay, I know where I want to get to. I'm serious about it. I'm fully committed. I'm ready to do whatever it takes to make it happen. Did you kind of experience any of that hesitation, that resistance at all?
So in terms of this, I felt like it was so specific in terms of what I needed, that I was just like, I'm not going to delay. And I think one thing that I will kind of give myself credit for, if I may, is I feel
Yeah.
like I've always been that person to make a decision for that next step and not really take the traditional path. Like, I would say like in high school, when I had like injuries until I was like 16, 17 years old, and I wanted to play D1 tennis. So I was like, look, I have a decision to make. I can either stay on the current path, maybe I achieve my goals, but if I want to be serious, I got to go full time, do online school, and commit my entire life to this. And I made that. I told my parents, like, look, this is what I want to do. I'm gonna do it. There's a problem with it, like whatever, but this is what I want to do. So I made that next step, and I achieved that goal. Right? College, went there 2 years. It was great, learned a lot, whatever. But it was like, well, what do I want to do? What's gonna be the next step to get there? So made that move, dropped out of college, and made that next step. Was doing certain things, trying to build up my content platform, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. Wanted to start an online business. Figured out you're the next step for me. So I took that next step. Right. So I think like that's something that I don't think there was a lot of hesitation. Once I just knew exactly what it was, and your content, clarified the whole program for me. So I was like, well, this is exactly what I need. So bang, I'm in.
I love that. There's a good example of content doing the pre-selling for you.
Exactly. Yes.
That's awesome, man. Um, Before we wrap things up here, I'd just like to kind of just hand the ball over to you. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to anybody watching? Any other piece of advice, anything else that's been super helpful for you? Just to kind of help them kind of get to where you're at, or at least get a little bit further ahead. So I want to make this as valuable as I can for the channel, because I appreciate everybody that supports me. And yeah, just kind of want to give you the floor here to kind of just give any more advice that you have.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like, I think, we covered a lot today. I think like maybe just like, I think it just comes down to taking action, right? And this is like what I see with a lot of players. It's like, look, you either want to take action or you don't, right? And I think it's, you just got to make that decision, man. Like, do you actually want to achieve your dreams and have the best chance of doing that? Or do you want to stay on your current path? And I'm the type of person where like, I never want to stay. I always want to be adapting and evolving and, becoming and breaking my old shell and like becoming that next level of myself. So I think of like, if you have that mentality and you want to be surrounded by people who also have that, who are going to, propel you to that next level. And, like, I think like, it's honestly a no-brainer for you. Like, you got to literally jump in if you're serious about, wanting to achieve your goals with your online business. If you're not serious about it, this is probably not for you. But if you're genuinely serious about it and, you're already committing your life to this stuff, I think that would be my biggest advice, is just like, you got to take action. That's like the trait that I see with like all these successful people. It's like, these are the action takers. All the people who are just talking, do this, do that, whatever, but you got to take action, bro. I think it just comes down to taking action. I think that's just like my biggest advice. Just like figure out what's the best next step for you to have the best chance to achieve your goals, and just make that move and just live with it. Just make that move and just make that decision.
I love that, because I see a big distinction too between a lot of like online coaches. It's like the people that claim they want to achieve their goals, and then the people that are actually committed to doing it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, what do you want, and what are you willing to do in order to get there?
Totally.
And I think our actions are definitely a reflection of how badly we actually do claim that we want the things that we want, because talk is cheap, action and results speak for themselves, right?
No doubt.
So I think that's a really good place to wrap things up. One last question. would you recommend joining the program to any online coach who's kind of stuck around like 5 to 30K a month? We've got some guys a little bit higher than that too, hopping in at like 50K a month too. But typically what we see is like 5 to 30K a month, wanting to scale to like 50 to 100K a month. Would you say this is for them? And if so, why?
100%. Yeah. Because look, you've been there, done that. And look, I've seen the community like, dude, the wins channel is legit. Like, it's crazy to see. And I love to see the wins channel. I love getting those notifications. I actually had one of my players today. He looked at my phone and he was like, "Oh, you use Slack too?" And he was looking at literally the wins that were popping in. And I think it's just like, man, like I would, man, I'm thinking like, what if I didn't jump into this program? What would I be doing now? I would just be doing the same old stuff and I'd be literally in the same spot. So it's like, you just take action, man. Just jump in and just be willing to do the work. And if you're a go-getter and you want to make it happen, this is going to work for you. It's really as simple as that. So yeah, I would say jump on a call with Jeremy. If he thinks it's a good fit for you, just join, bro. Just literally join it. I think it's really as simple as that.
And bring your credit card. Don't forget that.
And bring your credit card and maybe another one and maybe another one too. But
it's not getting cheaper from here on out. I will say.
That's right.
I've been told by too many people recently that's still underpriced. So we'll see. But Chase, I really appreciate it, man. And I seriously can't wait to actually finally meet up in person.
Yes.
And I know we were talking about this before we started recording and stuff like that, but I'm thinking September, October, do a live in-person summit acquisition mastermind, everybody in the community.
Totally.
I've had like 15 people already say that, like, dude, let me know. I'm flying out there. I don't care where it is. We're down. So I think it'd be so much fun because like the in-person energy is just so different. Like if we got this kind of energy on a Zoom call, bro, like it's gonna be next level. It's gonna be nuts. So
dude, I'm so pumped, man. Yeah, I'm so pumped. Like I was so close to literally coming out to Croatia, man. But I just got a new client on board. I was like, I just want to hammer in the delivery and just make that happen. But I was so close to joining you and Nils, man. But yeah, I'm so pumped to meet up, man. It's gonna be so much fun.
It'll be a blast. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Chase, thank you for your time, man. I really appreciate it. And this has been incredible. And yeah, I'm really excited for the future for both of us.
Yes, sir. I'm pumped. Sky's the limit. Let's get it, man.
Hell yeah. Awesome. All right. That's a wrap for the video today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're actually serious about scaling, book a call down below. Bring your credit card. Let's get cracking because we don't have any more time to waste, right? And it's time to take action, do the things you know you need to do, get the results that you want really badly. So hope you enjoyed this video of Chase kind of sharing his insights on how he was able to go from 0 to over 20K a month in just a few months at the age of 22 with a brand new online coaching business. If you thought this was valuable and you want a similar transformation as well, you want to actually scale with consistency, predictability, actually scale and make a lot of money, then booking a call down below with me. You'll be talking to me personally, and I don't like to waste my time and I don't want to waste your time either. So make sure you have a payment method available. My program is not cheap, but it's worth every single penny. If you actually implement the things that I help you with, you're going to make a lot more money than you currently make it right now. You can make your investment back very quickly, and you're actually gonna have a predictable, consistent system to get new clients on demand every single week. So if that sounds like you and you're actually serious about scaling and you're fully committed and you want to actually make this work and start making some big boy money, then book a call down below. Let's chat and we'll get you into the program. Aside from that, hope you enjoyed this video and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.